What is world class? A tennis instructor told me once that if you are ranked in the top 1,000 in the world of tennis, you are world class. If you are a top 200 swimmer, you are also world class. In fact, there are 7.85 billion humans on Earth. Maybe if your child was in the top 100,000, they would be world class. They would be in the top 0.0026% of their gender in their sport. Let's review some quotes from athletes. If you look at these quotes, you'll see something in common. Elite athletes know how to work very hard. You persevere through many failures to become great. I was watching a football game on YouTube and saw something extremely interesting. The quarterback had passed a ball downfield, maybe 12 to 15 yards, and a defensive lineman was in on the tackle. I figured the defensive tackle must have dropped back into coverage, so I went backwards in time to follow where he came from. As it happens, he just barely missed sacking the quarterback for a loss. He went from deep in the backfield all the way downfield fast enough to be in on the tackle the player, the quarterback, had just passed the ball to. Think of how many times he tried that and didn't make a tackle. Elite athletes are special. Next, I'm going to discuss what it takes for a child to develop into an elite athlete. My daughter Lauren FitzGerald worked hard to become an exceptional athlete. I will go through these 10 independent impacts 5 at a time over the next 2 slides. Each impact is critical in the development of an elite athlete. Some are external to your child and some are internal. A family must be very supportive of a child athlete. The athlete will be making many sacrifices and must rely upon the loving support of their family. The family is also making a sacrifice for the child that must be accepted graciously. As your child begins to excel, it can greatly impact your family dynamics. Fire in the belly is key. If your child has it, then your child has these 3 attributes. 1. Works harder than others. I would see Lauren during turn practice swim through it just a little bit further than everybody else. 2. Get up early for practice when everyone else is sleeping. Lauren would get up and go to swim practice before school once a week. And 3. Help understand that there is life after injury. Lauren hurt her shoulder swimming, a common swimming injury, so she spent all practice kicking. As a result of this, she became an extremely powerful kicker. Elite athletes burn way more calories than other people. Her coach told the team to have something to eat in the car as they drove home after practice. Even a candy bar was better than nothing. He understood that depleting their calories during practice risks cannibalizing their muscles after practice for energy. As a child develops into an elite athlete, the calories they consume during the day increases. To optimize their nutrition, they need the required vitamins and minerals as well as calories. Genetics is a key component for any excelling athlete. There are things such as fast twitch and slow twitch muscle ratios. Some people will be better at running 1,500 meters and others at 200 meters. A child must love what they are intrinsically good at for their success. Sleep enables regeneration of body and mind. One of the other parents was commenting to the coach that his child was always tired. The coach said that it's supposed to be that way. That's how you get faster. Excellent athletes put an extreme burden on their bodies and need sleep to facilitate repair. An excellent athlete needs their parents' support. The child will look to the parents to ascertain expectations. This is an area replete with landmines. If you ask a child, for instance, if they are going to get a best time, set best time as the expectation of minimal performance. If they do not get a best time, then they have failed. A better expectation is that the child gives it their best effort no matter what their performance is. When a child is young, they are performing the sport because the parents have decided that it's a good idea. At some point, the athlete needs to own their effort. When my daughter was 12, she was feeling great pressure of her own making and told me she was thinking about quitting swimming. I told her that that was fine, and my only expectation was that she do something to keep herself fit 3 days a week. From that point on, she was swimming because she wanted to. Exceptional athletes have the ability to hear something and then do it. You don't have to spend a lot of time instructing a gifted athlete because they can connect their body actions immediately to what you've asked them to do. I only mention health because poor health can be a tremendous inhibitor to performance. It's not a child's fault if this happens, but it will impact their performance. Coaching is key because no sport is simple. Swimmers and track performers operate at high heart rates for long periods of time, burn lots of calories, and are constantly tired, as mentioned before. Tennis players must focus a lot on endurance, speed, and technique. Coaches must be able to deliver to their teams exactly what is needed to increase their performance. These are just some of the characteristics of elite athletes. All elite athletes will work out at an exceptionally high pulse rate. Over time, they have trained themselves to push their bodies. Athletes get tired. They push their muscles very hard. All athletics have elements of endurance, speed, and skill. An example would be a football receiver. This player uses deception as a skill and speed to separate them from the defense. They do this repetitively all game. That must be like running 80 wind sprints. As fast as these players are, endurance is as big a part of their success as speed is. Exceptional athletes will always go one step further than their competitors. They will swim a little bit more, run a little bit further, practice a little bit longer. If a coach asks you to run 10 yards, the great athlete will run 11. As depressing as injuries are, it's possible to turn them around into benefits. I mentioned earlier that my daughter had a shoulder injury that led to exceptionalism in her ability to kick. Sometimes an injury can help you work on form. Don't always think of an injury as being bad. There will always be injuries. An elite athlete does not stop. They are always pushing themselves harder than everyone else. If your child is working a little bit harder than the other kids, then your child is special. When my daughter started swimming at 8 years old, her coach told us to keep an eye on her, that she was something special. How could he possibly know that? I think it was because she could take whatever he asked her to do and do it. All sports are a balance between strength, endurance, skill, and form. This will take time for a child to learn. Have patience as children develop at different rates. If your child is trying hard, they will never be a failure. Love is the most valuable thing that you can give your child athlete. They cannot achieve excellence without your support. No child is instantly good at a sport. It is possible, though, that a child can be successful before they are good in a sport. An example is in swimming. When a young child is large for their age, large kids can usually outperform smaller children just based on their size. As children grow at different rates, this is a short-lived advantage, as the largest 8-year-old may not be the largest 14-year-old. A key to success is hard work and excellent form. This takes time. As you can see from my list of 10 areas required for greatness, that not every child can become a great athlete. However, with your help, every child can succeed in athletics.